Welcome back to Dolphins United, the platform for Dolphins. You heard me. We are back in the house. Family, what's up? You already know it's that season. It's the most wonderful time of the year. All right, training camp is here. We are going to recap day 2 and day 3 of camp. All right. If you're not familiar with my style, I usually like to put a day or two together. All right. And the reason I like to do that rather than just giving you per day is because we can compare and contrast days. All right. We can see if it was the same the next day or if it was a redemption day the next day, things like that. All right. So we get to, compare and contrast 2 days. I like that. All right. And that's the way I flow. Sometimes it will be the next day, but sometimes it'll be 2 or 3 at a time. All right. And that's the way I like to do things. And then we'll just give a rundown of the last 2 days. All right. And then we'll talk about it, obviously, in the comment section. Like, subscribe, all that. I'm trying to reach 5K by the end of the year. All right. I want to be a 5K Dolphin YouTuber member. All right. I want to pass that threshold. So help me do that by following, sharing the content. If you down with your boy, just please help your brother out. All right. And of course, that'll be the next giveaway. All right. We'll have a nice giveaway. Y'all know I do giveaways when we hit certain milestones. We hit that 5, we'll be doing a giveaway. All right. So please help me get to my goal before December. Now, let's go ahead and break down day 2, and then we'll break down day 3. All right. So day 2. And this is off the dome, all right, from what I can remember, off of based on basically what I was reading, all right. Day 2, we did see a beautiful pass to Tyreek Hill between the safety and the corner, all right, and it was dropped right in the bucket, all right. It was right over the shoulder, all right, came in, he caught it down the sideline, went out of bounds. Beautiful pass from Tua. Okay, so Tua connected with Hill. That's what you want to see. Connected with Hill on a nice 15-ish yard slant that Tyreek took the rest of the way with Yak. You're going to see a lot of those types of plays, all right? We're going to see a lot of Yak plays. A lot of short, intermediate routes going for 60, all right? Because that's what this type of offense is going to do. It's going to open guys up. It's going to have guys running wide open. He just has to hit them in stride, meaning Tua, and they can take off down the field. Teddy hit a couple guys himself, had an all right day, all right, because he did have an interception to Trill Williams, who took that all the way back to the house for a pick 6. So Teddy had an all right day, made some nice passes, but also had the interception. Tua's not was offering any of that. Tua had dropped interceptions himself that he has to, get corrected. 2, namely, on day 2. He had 2 dropped interceptions, and he just keeps getting lucky. We've seen it, and it's something TD said in his video today that he posted. Tua is a lucky man. All right? He keeps having dropped interceptions. I don't know how many he has now. I can't keep count. But we've seen a lot of dropped interceptions from Tua. Defense was balling, all right? He dropped one of the interceptions, all right? He was doing his thing. Now, granted, that's from what they were telling us, all right? He did deflect the pass against Waddle. But there were some passes that was caught, all right? Now, we don't really get to see who gets burnt on some of these passes, but we got to assume Noah was on the receiving end of being burnt on some of those plays, all right? And when I say being burnt, not necessarily being burnt like just getting left down the field, just means that the ball was caught on him, all right? Like the offense burnt him, okay? So he did have a couple passes caught on him. You can expect that, but that's any corner. You put X in there, he's going to get some passes caught on him. That's part of being a corner. It's about making the plays that are there to make and making sure you get your hands on footballs that you need to get your hands on. And also, of course, making impact plays. That's very important. So whether it's a third down tackle or, snuffing out, whatever you got to do. All right. So he's got to get better, and we hope to see that. Defensive line. Let's talk about them real quick. Practice number 2, they was all over the place. Phillips was back there. Ingram was back there. Christian Wilkins was a pest, all right, apparently. Doing their thing. Phillips, that's what you want to hear about. Ingram just got in there, and he wasn't even supposed to be playing in teams, and he convinced the defensive coaches to let him in there because he wasn't taking no for an answer, and he started making impact plays, setting the edge, doing what he's supposed to do. Then Wilkins, he's just taking that next step, man. You've seen him, all right, and if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Go watch that man's mic'd up. Go watch his mic'd up from training camp on day 2. The man's just hilarious. He's out there having fun. He's doing this thing, and he's beasting. All right, it's one thing to be out there just, loafing around, but it's another thing to be beasting. All right, he was beasting. The third string quarterback, day 2, he had a decent day. Day 3, not so much. All right, Tua, he had a decent day, day 2. Day 3, it wasn't as good as day 2, and day 2 was average. Okay, day 2 was average. So day 2, I would say defense and offense, it was pretty even because they couldn't run the football. They were allowing pressures left and right on offense, but they had some explosive plays. Okay. Then when you look at day 2, day 3, the offense had some explosive plays. The defense had some explosive plays, but the offense didn't do as much as they did on day 2. Let's talk about it. Tua, let's start out, had 2 dropped interceptions again. All right? That's not good. One was Nick Needham, got to catch that. The second one was Brandon Jones, got to catch that. Wasn't good. What was good? 25-yard pass down the sideline to Tyreek Hill. What wasn't as good? 45-yard pass-ish, something like that. 45 air yards, 45-yard pass, whatever you want to call it. Wobbler, underthrown pass to Tyreek Hill. All right? Tyreek Hill on day 1 had a few connections with Tua. Day 2 of practice that was open. Let me say it right because I don't want to confuse anybody. On day 2, he had some connections with Tua. On day 3, he had some connections with Tua. That's what you want to see. I know that it was there was an underthrown pass on day 3, which is today. I understand that. But it was still a completion. I'll take it, although I don't like it. All right? I don't like it, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. Defense, still doing their thing. Phillips was still wreaking havoc. Sealer was doing his thing. Wilkins doing his thing as well. All right? That's what you want to see. Going back to day 2, they said that Tyndall was flying around, which is what I want to hear. All right? Real quick, I wanted to touch that. Tyndall was flying around. He did his thing. Also, Izukama had what would have been a spectacular catch, but he ended up dropping it. It happens. Hopefully, those things he'll get better at, but it was good to see that Tua got it to him, and it was a high point pass that he just couldn't bring down. All right, so that's day 2. Back to day 3. All right. Defense had a decent day. All right, because the offense couldn't really do too much. Going deep anyway. Explosive plays. Waddle, beasting. All right, Waddle was beasting the first day of open practice, day 2, and he had the orange jersey to prove it. Day 3, 7 of 7 catching. He's just fast, man. All right, we got 2 beastly wide receivers, speed-wise, explosive guys. Even Hill was like, he's faster than I thought he was. All right, now he's legit. All right, now when you get the stamp of approval from the cheetah, that's what you want to see. All right, that's exactly what you want to see. When it came to the back half of practice, apparently Tua didn't have as good a practice. That's when those 2 interceptions came. But other than that, I'm pretty sure he was just, taking what was there, throwing the short, intermediate routes. I'm sure there was a lot of completions because I read from one of the beat writers that not too many balls were on the ground. So that's what you want to see. A lot of completions, just short, intermediate stuff. And it's probably just them working on stuff. Not every practice is going to be a practice where they're throwing deep, guys. You're just not going to see that every week. I mean, not every week, every day, where they're just throwing deep and they're chucking it deep. Sometimes they're working on things that are short and intermediate. All right, so that's what it was. It seems like there was a stalemate again today, but the offense was not as good. I want to see Tua, all right, moving forward, have better days than what he's had these last 2 because they were average days. This one was a little bit less than average, but we don't want to hear that. We want to hear Tua was out here beasting, all right? I don't care if you throw interceptions. I do care about the underthrown passes, all right, because we need that to be better because Tyreek Hill's going to be open, all right, and the difference between an underthrown pass and a pass that's accurate can be 6 points. Because what can happen is, let's say we're on our 30-yard line. We throw it 40 yards down the field to an open Waddle. That puts us at the 40-yard line on the other side, all right? And the pass, all right, because it was underthrown, ended up being a 40-yard completion because he gets tackled at the 40-yard line rather than a pass that's in front and there's no safety to beat. And even if there is a safety to beat, you got to like your odds with having Tyreek Hill back there catching that pass. Could be the difference between having to go 3 and out at the 40-yard line and getting no points, or 6 and you're kicking it off to a team and getting back on defense. So it matters, all right? It definitely matters because it could be the difference between 6 and no points, all right? Now, you would like to think you'll at least get 3 out of that, but we don't want 3. We don't need 3, especially against certain teams. You got to get 6 points there. You have to. So we got to work on that. Hopefully Tua can be better. Here's what I will say. I'm not worried about his arm strength just yet, all right? Just because he threw a pass short doesn't necessarily mean that he has arm strength issues, guys. Tua, okay, is out here working, all right? That's what he's doing. If he needs to throw it 70 yards, 60 yards, and he can't get it there, that's when I'm going to have an issue. Where a guy is wide open, all right, 50 yards down the field, and Tua throws it, and it can't even make it there. That's when I'm going to have an issue. If Tua just happens to underthrow a guy, it doesn't necessarily mean that he has a horrible arm. It just means that he threw a bad pass. All right? And there's quarterbacks that throw bad passes. I saw a lot of Pat Mahomes and Tyreek Hill over the last few months because I wanted to see what kind of dynamic player Tyreek Hill really was. And I wanted to see the passes that Tua could possibly make versus the passes he can't make. And lo and behold, there were a lot of underthrown passes thrown by Pat Mahomes to Tyreek Hill. A lot of them. So it's going to happen. And he has one of the strongest arms in the NFL. It's going to happen. All right? You're going to throw bad passes every now and then. It's going to happen. You're going to throw something where you thought you put enough on it, but you didn't. All right? Now, whether the wind was a factor or not, which, by the way, if you did see that on Twitter, I know TD talked about it as well. If you happen to see that on Twitter about a guy asking Omar about Tua's arm strength and not Tua, Omar saying, leave me out of that, pretty much leave me out of that and no comment. That person that asked him that was actually my actual blood brother. He had sent me a text. He was like, yeah, I asked Omar, and it's kind of going crazy right now. So TD was talking about that, and other people had retweeted that and were giving the eyes, But that was my brother that actually asked that question. It was a good question, too, by my brother, and he asked that question. So, yeah. Anyway, the wind, whether it was wind, whether it wasn't wind, and people are tripping because Tua has no arm strength and it's worse than last year. I'm not worried about that just yet. It's too early for me to be worried about that, okay? He could come out tomorrow, throw a 60-yard dime on the money, and then what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are all of the where is all of the panic then? He does something like that, then it's like, okay, maybe he just threw a bad pass. All right, so let's not worry about that just yet. Let's give it a little more time. We're on day 3, but practice number 2. Let's give it a little more time. Let's chill out. Let's relax. Let's breathe. And let's see if this is a reoccurring issue before we make something final out of it. All right? As I told y'all before, I will be there next week. So I'll get to see it firsthand myself on Tuesday. What the heck is going on with Tua's arm? And then I'll let you know if there's something to actually be worried about, because you'll have some eyes that was there that's willing to tell you the real. All right? So we'll deal with that when we get there. But I do want to hear a little bit more from Tua that he was unstoppable, or, you know, he was just throwing passes left and right, accurate, arm strength, looked good, and he was reading the field, and he was just progressing the offense. All right, where he was pretty much unstoppable. I want to hear, here's what I want to hear. I want to hear, well, they better start practicing X because these other corners can't do nothing with him. All right, that's what I want to hear. When I hear something like that, I'll be a little more happy about the situation, because Tua don't got long with me. I'll be honest with you. I know this jersey's up here, but Tua ain't got long with me. He really don't. So I need to see it. All right, I need to see it. I believe in him. I believe Tua's going to ball out this year. But he better show me, prove me right. You know what I'm saying? Because if he prove me wrong, I'm going to be the biggest Tua hater you ever saw. I promise you that. Ain't going to be a bigger Tua hater than me if he proves me wrong. All right, so he better prove me right. Now, let's get into our article that came out recently. I don't know if it came out today or not. And it was, let me go ahead and give you the credits, because I don't want to read from the article without giving you who actually made the article. I feel like that would be unfair to the people that made it, and maybe you want to go read it in its entirety. That's up to you. But if I can find said article, which I'm hoping is somewhere in here. There it is. All right. GoLongTD.com. Okay? GoLongTD.com all together. Go there. You can catch this article on Chase Edmunds. Okay? And I'm going to read some excerpts from that right now for you, because I found some of that to be very interesting. So we're going to get into it. All right. So when it pertains to the offense, okay, and I understand this video might be a little longer than you're used to, but bear with me because this is good information. If you stay to the end, you got the goods of the video, all right? This is the goods of the video. What I said earlier was just a recap. You read it already. This is the goods of the video, so let me go ahead and get into it, all right? Edmunds, all right? I guess they asked him a question about the offense. This offense feeds off of receivers with yak. We knew that already, all right? And we have two of the best yak receivers on this offense. Tua is doing a great job. He takes care of the football already. So as long as we come in and we help him out and we do what we're supposed to do, we get open, we hold on to the football, we're catching the football, everything will work out. Say what you will about Alabama's plethora of five-star talent, he adds. That offense was still timing-based with slants, crossers, and deep post. 1, 2, 3, throw. That's what Edmunds tells everybody to expect out of Miami. Okay? And like practically everyone else, he assumed Tua had a weak arm before signing. Such was the narrative. And then he said, when I came in here, I was thinking like, S word, which I don't cuss, so that's what he said. S word. How far is he going to be able to throw it? That's how bad the media is. All right. Once the running back started practicing with his new quarterback, any fears begin to subside. He claims Tua's arm is plenty strong and states Tua was a Heisman finalist for a reason, a number one quarterback out of high school for a reason, and a 5th pick overall for a reason. All right? That's basically what he said regarding Tua and the offense. So he believes in Tua. He said he's not worried about Tua's arm strength, okay? And he believes that if they do what they need to do around him, then that Tua will have a great year and that the offense will have a great year. Love it. Moving on, all right? There's a little thing about the nuance of the offense that he stated that I wanted to go ahead and mention. Everything feeds off each other. We'll do a zoom motion and we'll run outside zone. We'll do that zoom motion with Tyreek Hill, and they have to worry about the jet sweep. Then we might do a zoom motion, and instead of the outside zone, we do a motion play action, and Tyreek is going to the flat. These two plays are the exact same play. The only difference is that instead of handing off the ball, you didn't hand off the ball off. The only difference is that you handed the ball off and you didn't hand the ball off on the other one. All right? So he's basically saying that you can go ahead and picture it. You got Tyreek in the slot. You got a running back behind you. You got Tua either in shotgun or in the pistol. Okay? So Tyreek is coming across in a zoom motion, fast as ever. It's hike, it's a fake, and it's either Tyreek is going out and he's open in the swing, or Tua is keeping it and he is handing it off to the running back on the outside zone, or he's giving it to Tyreek on a jet sweep. All right, so you have 3 different things that can happen out of this play that looks identical, okay, to each other. So he's basically saying that you don't know what's going on, pretty much. All right, you don't know what's going on because Tua can either give it to Tyreek on a jet sweep, he could keep it and throw it to him on a swing pass, or he could keep it and hand it off on an outside zone play, or, as he continues to say here, Tua can keep it and run it. All right? So pretty much 4 things can happen out of that one play. So he said, so now everybody on defense has to be super disciplined in their gaps, super disciplined in their assignments, their techniques. One misfit, and he's out of there. All right? One misfit, and you've got you got 20 yards on the outside zone. One misfit, and you've got Tyreek Hill in the flat for 20 yards. One misfit, and you've got Tua scrambling for 10 yards for a first down. There's a lot of outcomes out of the same play. And they all look the same, but it's not really the same. I couldn't really catch that at the bottom because there was something in the way. So that's what he said about the offense. That's about the nuance of the offense. That's great to hear. That's excellent to hear. Music to my ears. That's the offense I expected that was going to be coming to Miami. And now that's the offense that it looks like we might have, where you're going to have one play that can run 4 different things out of it, and they all look the exact same. And that's the type of coach that Mike McDaniel is. He is the type of coach that he wants everything to look the exact same. He wants the window dressing to look the exact same as if Tyreek was getting the ball. If Tyreek ran a certain speed, When he was getting the ball, he wants it to look the same way, although Tyreek knows he's not getting the ball, so it keeps the defense honest. That's the type of gameplay designer that Mike McDaniel is, and I can't wait to see it implemented and to see the execution of it, because it's not something that we're necessarily going to get a good grasp of until the Bullets is live in season. All right, we might get a glimpse of it in preseason games, but it's not something that you're really going to put on tape too much. So it's something that they'll be practicing when the public isn't there, and it's also something that we're going to see in the regular season. I can't wait to get a good glimpse of that, because that is going to be deadly, because you can remove Tyreek if you want and put Waddle in that same position, and you got Tyreek on the outside having to keep the safeties honest, and then you have Waddle on a jet sweep, and you have Edmunds or Mostert back there. Oh, the speed is ridiculous. The playmaking is ridiculous. I can't wait. I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Y'all already know what it is. Fins up till we die. We in here. Practice 2, practice 3. Stay tuned for more of these recaps. Let's hope that Tua has a way better day tomorrow. I'll see y'all in the next one.